What if the Rain Man Shawn Kemp never got fat? Yeah, Pillsbury Doughboy status. He made Zion look slim. With this video, we get to find out if he can win a championship. It's the year 1991 and Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls just got done winning their first championship against Magic Johnson and the Los Angeles Lakers. We're here with Shawn Kemp, the Rain Man, my favorite player. As you'd heard in the intro, he kind of got fat as the years went on. I think it was because of the lockout season, but anyway, we're going to go through his career and see if we can win as many championships as possible. Here's the starting lineup for the team as of right now. I plan on to make some trades, and we'll look at that in just a second. But we got Derek McKee, yes, at small forward, then Gary Payton, Ricky Pierce, not sure who he is, I can't remember him, Shawn Kemp, Michael Cage, and then Eddie Johnson. So we're going to change this lineup some. I think I'm going to try and pick up Shaq in the draft. So I'm going to trade some guys, try and get that first pick, and see what we can do that way, or win some championships early. That would be freaking sweet. Before we get into that trade, here are the best players in the league right now. Yep, you knew it. Michael Jordan, 99 overall. Charles Barkley, we have him in this as well. I had to load him in because he's never in 2K games. And then we got Karl Malone, Clyde Drexler, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, John Stockton. Man, this brings back good old days. Reggie Miller, I loaded him into the game as well because he's not in 2K games. So I adjusted some lineups here and there a little bit just to make it a little bit better. Not perfect, but as best as I can. And then Larry Bird, Hakeem Olajuwon, Scottie Pippen. I mean, this is just freaking sweet. But let's get into that trade. The trade happened so quickly, we have to go transaction report. We took the first pick for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're not a very good team. We got Tellus Frank, but we gave up Eddie Johnson, Derek McKee, I believe, and a first-round pick in 94 from the 76ers. We're hoping to get Shaquille O'Neal. Because it's already happened, we already know how great Shaq becomes, so we're going to try and team him up with Gary Payton, Shawn Kemp, and the Diesel. That would be freaking sweet, and I think we can win some titles very early. So let's see what happens in some of the simulations we're doing. We're going to be simulating the season. We're not going to play anything. We'll jump into a few games here and there, most likely not in any regular season games or anything, but playoff games, game sevens, and see how Shawn Kemp, Gary Payton, and all the guys are doing. But yeah, let's get into simulating and see what happens in year one. Let's take a look at the draft before we get done with that first season. Like I said, Shaq, Alonzo Mourning, Christian Laettner, Latrell Sprewell, he's remembered for choking his coach, Jim Jackson, Tom Gugliotta, just some absolute studs. This is a good draft for the most part. Not the greatest, but pretty good because of Alonzo and Shaq. And then down here, Robert Horry, Big Shot Bob, clutch shot after clutch shot for this guy. Pretty sweet. David Wesley. Not everybody's going to be perfect and great, and we'll kind of see what happens as the years go on, but that's the draft now. Let's get into simulating. Before the All-Star break, we are 30-18. Pretty darn good if you ask me. Let's go take a look at some of the standings, see if those Minnesota Timberwolves are sucking. That way we can get Shaq. I looked a little bit earlier, wasn't looking great, but let's go take a look. They're the Minnesota Timberwolves, 11-35. Love to see that. Not the worst team in the league, but I'll take that. Dallas Mavericks, 9-38, but if you go to the East and you go to the very bottom, there's the Orlando Magic's 8-40. Pretty freaking terrible. Maybe I should have got that pick instead, but who knows. League leaders at the All-Star break, Michael Jordan, 32.3 points per game, Clyde Drexler at 27.6, and Dominique Wilkins at 27.2. And if you look here, Dennis Rodman, 17 freaking rebounds a game. Wow, he was a machine on the boards back in the day. And then assists, you knew it, John Stockton, and right after him, Magic Johnson, and looky here, Mark Jackson. Man, like I said, brings back the good old days. Here's the stats for the Seattle Supersonics at that midway point. Shawn Kemp, 21.9 points per game, 12 rebounds, 2.3 blocks, not too shabby there. Dana Barros off the bench, 15 points. That's probably been huge for us and why our record is what it is. Gary the Glove Payton, 13.6 points per game, 7.5 assists, and look at that, 1.8 steals per game. That's the end of this season already. John Stockton, most valuable player, 16.7 points per game, 13.2 assists per game, 2.3 steals. I mean, this guy was just a stat-stuffing machine when it came to points, assists, and steals. Some of his records are very impressive. Rookie of the Year, Grandmama from Space Jams, Larry Johnson, 18.3 points per game, 11.5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Not too bad. I loved watching him and Alonzo Mourning and Muggsy Bogues on the Hornets when I was younger. Six-man, Detlef Shrimp, was a supersonic when I watched as much as I did. I don't remember him actually playing for the Pacers, but obviously he did. 15.6 points per game off the bench, 9.2 rebounds off the bench. That's pretty freaking good, almost a double-double. Defensive Player of the Year, the Admiral, David Robinson, 2.4 blocks per game, 1.9 steals per game as a center. Wow, that's impressive. And then 13.3 rebounds per game. This dude was an athletic freak back in the day. Most Improved Player goes to Mark Jackson, 12 points per game, 12.3 assists per game. Pretty decent year. I'm not sure how he did the year before, but I'll believe it. And then Coach of the Year, Jerry Sloan for the Utah Jazz, Karl Malone and John Stockton. I mean, 65 and 17, you can't go wrong with that pick. Here's the all NBA teams. We'll go pretty quick through these. We got John Stockton, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, and Patrick Ewing. I mean, come on, that seems like it's pretty obvious. Those guys were absolute studs. Tim Hardaway, Clyde Drexler, Shawn Kemp, all NBA second team already. Love seeing that. This is his third year in the league. Scottie Pippen, David Robinson, all NBA third team, a rookie, Larry Johnson. That is just, wow, impressive. He was an athletic freak as well. Kind of small, but still got up, played huge. And then we got our all NBA defense first team. Shawn Kemp gets that one. Michael Jordan, Ron Harper, the Scottie Pippen, David Robinson. Second team, Dennis Rodman. He's hurt right now, no big deal. John Stockton, Hersey Hawkins. Just these guys. I mean, I could almost cry because of these names that I'm saying off right now. All rookie first team, Larry Johnson, Dikembe Mutombo, Kenny Anderson, Terrell Brandon, Steve Smith, Stacey Augmon. I mean, this is just pretty freaking sweet. Some of these guys, I have no idea who they are. I'm going to be honest. Here's what we needed to know. The Minnesota Timberwolves, third worst team in the NBA. Dallas Mavericks were worse than them, but the worst team in the NBA, Orlando Magic. Shaq might still be going to the Magic. But here are the good teams in the West. We got the Utah Jazz, Phoenix Suns, Trailblazers, and the fifth seed, the Seattle Supersonics. My team, Shawn Kemp. I don't think Kemp's going to get his first title this year, but who knows? Maybe we can get one early. In the East, I mean, come on, you know who it is. The Chicago Bulls, New York Knicks, the Pacers, and the Celtics, rounding out the top four. We will be taking on the Los Angeles Lakers, 4 vs 5 seed, but the cool one I like to see over there in the East, the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan against the Philadelphia 76ers and Charles frickin' Barkley. Lakers passing the ball in, Sam Perkins in the corner, Shawn Kemp, the Rayman with the block, 5.9 to go. Green is passing the ball in, let's see what they can do. I don't think us Lakers have enough time. Perkins again with the ball in the corner. He's leaning. That doesn't go. Cage with another rebound, and that's the game. James Worthy, 25 points, 8 rebounds. Magic Johnson, oh my gosh, 22 points, 16 dimes. Sam Perkins, 19 points. I don't know how they lost to the Sonics. Let's take a look at the Sonics stance. Ricky, 30 points. Shawn Kemp, pretty impressive, 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 freaking blocks. That's how you do it. Gary Payton kind of struggled that game, but we got the W. Second round now, we take on the Utah Jazz. They barely beat out the Golden State Warriors. That one went 5. Phoenix Suns, Portland Trailblazers, 2 vs 3. Chicago Bulls are going to be going against the Hornets. They ended up beating the Boston Celtics, and then down there, that series just doesn't go away, even in real life. The Knicks versus the Pacers. I mean, that's been a thing since way back when, and it's happening again in this series. Gotta love it. Well, our playoff hopes might be coming to a crashing halt. Ricky Pierce, high ankle sprain. He is done for the season. We're already down 0-2 against the frickin' Utah Jazz. If we come back and win this, it would be impressive. I knew it would be tough, and the Utah Jazz are a very tough team. Karl Malone, John Stockton, but they sweep us 4-0. The Utah Jazz will be taking on the Phoenix Suns. The Bulls win 4-1 in that series, going against the Knicks, and they beat the Pacers 4-1. So could be the Jazz against the Bulls in the finals, but we will see. Bulls versus Jazz, like I just said, if something gets tight, I'll jump in and watch some of the game, but I'll simulate most of these. We have to jump in. This is Game 6. Utah Jazz are up 3-2 in this series. It is 90-90 with about a minute to go. John Stockton with the ball. He's going right. Finds Karl Malone and he throws it down. The Utah Jazz are up 2 in these finals already. They get the ball in. That's Paxton. They got to get Jordan the ball quickly. Paxton stops, sets something up. He gets a screen. Scottie's sitting there ready. In the corner, no, it's going to Jordan in the low post. The fadeaway, that's his normal shot. And he drills it to tie it up with a minute to go. Assist 24-24. This game has been tight throughout. Karl Malone bringing up the ball. Not sure if I ever saw this happen in real life, but maybe it did. I was too young to know. Karl Malone going to his right. Forrest Grant stops him. Stockton now with the ball. Gets it back to Jack Malone. I had no idea there was a Jack Malone, but there is Stockton now with the ball. Paxton on him. Going to his right. No, nothing. 5 seconds left in the shot clock. 3, 2, pump fake. Jordan there. Bulls get the rebound. That's Horace Grant out and running. 30 seconds to go. Paxton pushing the pace. Gets it to Jordan. Sets it up. Goes to his left. Looks like he's going to back him down. Yep, that's his. No. He decides to do something else. Crossover. Going with his left. He stops him, forces him to pick up his dribble. He goes up anyways. It goes in. 20 seconds to go. Utah Jazz with a timeout. Jazz ready to pass the ball in. The Bulls gotta get a stop to force a game 7. Stockton with the ball. 15 seconds. Looking to post up Karl Malone. Horace Grant, pretty good defender, but Malone is a superstar. Let's see what happens. Horace makes him pass. Brown with the ball, not sure who that is. Edwards with the ball, don't know who that is, but he's got Scottie Pippen on him, so he's got some trouble. He's gonna have to force up a shot. Pippen there, it goes in! You've gotta be kidding me! At the buzzer, does it count? I was not paying attention, I think it counts. There it goes, it's up and it absolutely counts. This game is going to overtime. Jordan with that big shot there and that one. Thought that was gonna be enough to win it, but it's not. Here we go, late in overtime, 46 seconds to go. Jazz with the ball, Chicago down 1. They absolutely have to get a stop. Karl Malone with the ball, illegal screen, the Bulls got a chance. Bulls now with the ball. I saw Jordan during the timeout. He had a towel around his neck, he might have fouled out. So no Jordan in the clutch. Who are they gonna go to? Got a feeling it's going to Pippen. Yes, it does. He stops, he pops, no good. Kicks, tipped up, Horace Grant with the ball, 35 seconds to go. Bulls up 1. Timeout Jazz. Jazz getting the ball in. Stockton's got it. They gotta get a point to end this series. They get the ball down low to Karl Malone. Grant there again defensively. Can Malone get it past him? He does. That's up and in. Another timeout for the Bulls. This is going down to the absolute finish. Bulls get the ball in. 25 seconds to go. Pippen with the ball. He's got to take this shot. He's got to demand it. This is early in his career, but he's got to do it. Gets a screen from Horace Grant. He's going to his right. Goes up. He's fouled. It goes in. Oh my gosh. 17 seconds to go. This is absolutely crazy. Pippen now. Can he make it a 2-point lead? No, he does not. Jazz get the rebound. Timeout. Jazz once again looking to end this series. The Bulls just won't go away, hitting clutch shots. Malone gonna take the last shot, it looks like. Not sure what they're gonna set up. Horace Grant is on him. 7, 6. Malone going to his right. He stops. No, Grant. Oh, Stockton, pump fake, up again. Will this go in? No, it does not go in. Bulls survive. Game 6 in the NBA Finals goes down to the absolute wire. Bulls win 108-107 over the Jazz just to stay alive and force a Game 7. Look at that, though. 37 points, 11 dimes, 17 of 19 from the field. Michael Jordan absolutely dominated. Yeah, he had 6 turnovers, so that's not great, but he dominated. He did foul out. That's why you didn't see him in overtime, but let's go to Game 7. Game 7 has been back and forth this entire game. Jazz have a 4-point lead with 46 seconds to go. Jazz are trying to get the ball in. They get it to the corner. Pippen on defense now. No, B.J. Armstrong guarding Malone. He's going to his right. He finds somebody. Now he's got Horace Grant there. Doesn't matter. Goes in. 6-point lead with 37 seconds. Not looking good for the Bulls. Looking great for the Utah Jazz to get a finals victory. Jordan attacking quickly. Going right at Edwards. Gets body. Throws up a jumper. That goes in. The guy does not miss. 29 seconds now, 4-point game, fouling right away. Let's see if Malone can knock him down at the free throw line. It's actually Jeff Malone, not Jack Malone. I thought it was Jack for some reason. He makes the first one. And now here comes the second one. Can they go back up 6? Up and right in, nothing but net. Timeout Bulls. Down 6, 28 seconds to go. Can the Bulls make the comeback? It's kind of tough in this era because people did not shoot threes nearly as good as they do nowadays. But when you got the GOAT, greatest of all time, anything can happen. He's going to the free throw line here, and one, no. But yeah, like I said, if you got him, you got a chance. Jordan at the free throw line, 32 points, now 33 points in this game, 57% from the field. He's going to try and knock down the second one, 34 points. The Bulls are going to foul right away unless they can get a quick turnover. That would be even better. No, they got a foul now. Edwards, first one, up, good. Huge free throws for these Jazz. They've just clutched up and knocked these down here in Game 7. That's some pressure, I tell you. Second one, looking in Utah, so that helps a little bit. Goes right in. Bulls with the ball, no more timeouts. they gotta push quickly. And like I said, three-pointers weren't really a thing in this era. Paxton, he can hit some, but he's not gonna force it, I don't think. Time is ticking too much. Pump fake, jacks it up anyways. That doesn't go in. Jazz with the ball. They get it to Jeff Malone, and that's probably gonna be the game. Utah Jazz most likely will win the championship. Bulls 10 seconds, down 8. Jordan forces a three-pointer. He buries it. 96 to 101. Still don't think there's enough time, but pretty sweet seeing Jordan do that. Jazz make both free throws. 4 seconds to go. Like I said, not enough time. Pippen forces it up, but that's the game. Jazz win Game 7, 103 to 96. Jazz just did not miss free throws down late. Jerry Sloan finally gets to hoist up that trophy. Karl Malone, John Stockton. I mean, I was never a Utah Jazz fan. They always beat my Sonics. Karl Malone, MVP for the NBA Finals right there. You see him hoist that trophy as well. Jordan had 37.7 rebounds, didn't get enough help from his teammates. He didn't shoot super great, 14 of 24, but like I said, the Utah Jazz, Jeff and Jack Malone absolutely dominated. They did all this without John Stockton scoring many points. 2 stinking points, and the Utah Jazz still win the NBA Finals. Instead of even picking number 3, we dropped to all the way to number 5, the Magic. They were the worst team, and they dropped to 4, so that sucks for them. The Dallas Mavericks, number 1 pick, most likely gonna go with Shaquille O'Neal. And with that first pick, the Diesel, Shaq, goes to the Dallas Mavericks. The Sacramento Kings, with the number 2 pick, select Alonzo Mourning. I wanted one of those centers to drop to me. I figured it wasn't gonna happen, but here we are. With the 3rd pick, the Heat go with LaFonso Ellis. Instead of getting Shaquille O'Neal, the Magic now get Christian Laettner. That's a big change. With the 5th pick, we're going to pick up Latrell Sprewell. I think he's probably the best on the board. Jim Jackson, Clarence Witherspoon, Tom Gugliotta, all pretty decent picks. But our small forward, Pierce, he's not probably going to be coming back to our team, so I think Latrell Sprewell should fit in perfectly. Instead of picking here at 21, we're going to make a trade. Nate McMillan, since we got a lot of guards with Gary Payton and Dana Barros, and then our pick at 21 going to the Lakers for Eldon Campbell and their first round pick in 96. Who knows? Maybe some of the guys won't be on their team anymore, and maybe we can luck out and get a good pick there. Quick recap of what happened with the draft. You saw most of it. Shaq number 1, Alonzo Mourning. Like I said, you saw most of it. Robert Horry, I was hoping he was going to slip a little bit further and then I'd trade up. Didn't happen. He goes to the Bullets. It's weird saying that name, Washington Bullets. Man, good old days. Free agent period, and we need some size. I'm looking for a power forward, but it's hard to pass up. Larry Bird and Reggie Miller. I'm definitely put something on for him. I highly doubt we get it, but if we do, oh man. I can't believe it. Reggie Miller, most likely going to be coming to the Seattle Supersonics, 91 overall. And then we're also going to try and get Cliff Robinson, 79 overall power forward. Shawn Kemp center, him at small forward or power forward. This could be a good duo. I can't believe it happened. We backed up a dump truck full of money for Reggie Miller, and he takes our offer. We got Reggie Miller, Shawn Kemp, Gary Payton, Latrell Sprewell, Cliff Robinson, Dana Barros, Eldon Campbell. That's a pretty stinking good lineup. Maybe missing out on Shaq wasn't a bad thing after all. I can't wait to see what happens. We might be able to win some championships very early for Shawn Kemp. The offseason is done. This is the 2nd season for us, the 4th season for Shawn Kemp. And here's our lineup. Gary Payton, Reggie frickin' Miller, Latrell Sprewell, Clifford Robinson, and Shawn Kemp at the 5. And then we got Eldon Campbell, Dana Barros, and some guys. I mean, our subs aren't great, but our starters are legit. This should be a very interesting season. Hopefully to make a deep run in the playoffs. Maybe we get to the NBA Finals. Best players in the league didn't change much. Michael Jordan went from 99 to 97. Still no big deal. He should still absolutely dominate. Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, rounding out those. We'll scroll down a little bit. That way you can take a look. Larry Bird, did he go to? No, he stayed with the Celtics. I was wondering if he went to a different team. Dominique, he was a free agent, stayed with the Hawks. James Worthy still on the Lakers. Magic on the Lakers. Chris Malone with the Golden State Warriors. My bad. Almost forgot that one. Larry Johnson, 87 overall, 23 years old. And Shaq, 87 overall as a rookie. Oh my gosh, I wanted him so bad with the Dallas Mavericks. There's the Bulls team, probably still one of the best teams in the league. Doesn't look like it changed a whole bunch. Horace Grant went back to the Bulls. He was a free agent, as you saw. We took a shot at him, didn't get him. Still take Reggie Miller over him. BJ Armstrong, John Paxson. There we go. Couldn't think of his name. So that's the Bulls. And now the defending champs, the Utah frickin' Jazz. Karl Malone, 94 overall. John Stockton, Jeff Malone absolutely sunk some big free throws for them in that finals game. Blue Edwards, no idea. And some other guys. I've heard of this guy, played with him sometimes in my team, so that should be interesting. But that's the Utah Jazz. Can they repeat? We'll see. Sacramento Kings with the number 2 pick, Alonzo Mourning, 87 overall, 22 years old. Oh my gosh, going along with Mitch Richmond. This guy is a walking bucket. Let's check out these Mavericks now with Shaq. There he is at the very top. Then we got Derek Harper, Ronaldo Blackman, and Fat Lever. I mean, these Mavericks still are going to struggle, but Shaq should absolutely dominate. I got a feeling he's going to get Rookie of the Year as long as he stays healthy. Those were some of the best teams in the league. We'll get to simulating. This will go pretty quick. We might take a stop at the All-Star break just to check. And this year, I'll see who was the league leader in stats. That last year, I forgot about doing that, but oh well. Here we go. Let's simulate. We don't have a deep team already, and this sucks. Eldon Campbell, broken right leg, out 6 to 8 weeks. It's not going to be the end of the season. He'll come back before playoffs, but this is brutal. This happened really early on in the season. We have a little bit of money, and with Eldon Campbell getting injured for 6 to 8 weeks, we're going to pick up John Sally. Hopefully he accepts, but we got enough money to offer him, so let's do that. 32 and 15, I thought we'd be a little bit better. Honestly, it was the end of the simulation here right before the All-Star break. We won 7 games in a row, so we weren't doing super great, but we picked it up. Eldon Campbell was probably a lot of it. He's back now, so that's a lot better. Let's take a look at some stats real quick. League leader for most points per game, Michael Jordan, 30.8 points per game, but Reggie Miller, oh my gosh, he's making a difference already. 28.3 points per game for our Seattle Supersonics, so that is nice to see. Jordan, 6.5 assists. Let's go to look at the assist category, and yep, figured so. John Stockton, 11.7 assists per game, and now the rebounds. Dennis Rodman, again, same freaking number, 17 rebounds per game. He's only getting 9 points per game, but 17 rebounds. That is absolutely insane. And blocks. Hakeem Olajuwon, 3.9 blocks per game. And David Robinson, 3 blocks per game as well. And here are the top rookies, of course. Shaquille O'Neal, 22 points per game. Alonzo Mourning's next. Christian Laettner, and then look at that. Not too bad. Decent pickup. Latrell Sprewell, 12.3 points per game. Rebounds, that goes to Shaq as well. And assists, that's a Latrell Sprewell one. I gotta love it. Latrell Sprewell, sorry about that. Again, leading in the steals and blocks. Christian Laettner, not bad for the Magic there at 2.2, but Shaq is leading it at 2.2 as well. Maybe tied, maybe leading it by 1 or something, but who knows. Let's take a quick peek at the standings as of right now. The standings for the East, and the Charlotte Hornets are number 1, followed by the Miami Heat, and then the Chicago Bulls. As you saw in the league leaders, Jordan's been hurt for a little bit, so that plays a little bit into this. And then Atlanta Hawks. Let's go to the West, and we got the Portland Trail Blazers, 34 and 12. Clyde Drexler, and this team is just freaking loaded right now. Spurs with David Robinson, and we're number 3. Love it. Reggie Miller, Gary Payton, and Shawn Kemp, 32 and 15, but it took 7 games in a row to get to there. Now let's simulate to the end of the season and check everything out. Another brutal injury. As you saw, Sprewell was having a pretty good year for us, and he tore his left bicep. Out 6 to 8 weeks again. Campbell came back a little bit sooner. Hopefully Sprewell can do the same thing. We're doing decent record-wise, so he should come back right before the playoffs. We should be okay, but this is frickin' sucky. Sprewell, after coming back from his previous injury, pulled right calf muscle 6 to 8 weeks again, right before the playoffs. I think literally the playoffs are starting right now. So this is going to be interesting. He was a huge factor for our team. We're diving into awards real quick. Clyde Drexler, MVP for the entire season, 26.4 points, 7 and 6 for the rebounds and assists. Pretty impressive. And then we got Rookie of the Year. Shaq for the Mavericks, 21.4, almost 10 rebounds and 2.1 blocks per game. And the 6th Man of the Year, Steve Smith for the Heat. Like to see that, 14 points. Not too bad there. Defensive Player of the Year, again, goes to the Admiral, David Robinson. 2 years in a row now for him. 18.7 points per game, 14.2 rebounds, 3 blocks. Hakeem was probably close, but he got it again. Most Improved Player, Greg Grant, no idea. And then Coach of the Year, K.C. Jones for our Seattle Supersonics. NBA first team, and we got Reggie Miller already, like I said, making a huge impact on this team. He gets first team honors. Clyde Drexler, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, David Robinson. And then let's go to the second team. I was hoping Shawn Kemp was going to be there, but that is not the case. Kevin Johnson, Magic Johnson, Scottie Pippen, Wilkins, and Patrick Ewing to round out the top 5 there. Larry Johnson, again, after his good rookie year. John Stockton, no Michael Jordan in any of these 3 teams. That is crazy. He must have been hurt for quite some time. All defense first team, we got John Stockton, Dennis Rodman. He looks like he's injured. I'm not sure if they made it to the playoffs or not quite yet. Larry Nance, David Robinson, because of, Defense Player of the Year award. And then we got Clyde Drexler there, Kendall Gill, Gary Payton, love to see that. And there's Shawn Kemp making an impact defensively. So Miller scoring points and Kemp and Payton playing some defense. All rookie first team. Latrell Sprewell, like I said, having a good year, injured a bunch, but he was doing good. Leitner, Shaq, Alonzo Mourning, and PJ Brown, Jim Jackson, Clarence Witherspoon, Walt Williams, LaFonso Ellis, and John Barry. Those are the next ones for the second team. Those are the awards. Let's take a look at the player stats real quick. Reggie Miller, highest points per game in the entire season, 27.4 points per game. He didn't do a whole bunch of else, just shot the ball really well. Let's see how many three-pointers he made per game. 3 three-pointers, shooting 47.3% from the three-point line. That is freaking nice. Clyde Drexler, Wilkins, Karl Malone, Chris Mullin. Wow, that's pretty high. Number 5, Kendall Gill, then Patrick Ewing. Like I said, Jordan, not anywhere on the list. Must have definitely been hurt. Dennis Rodman, not David Robinson. David Robinson right there at number 2. For rebounds, assists, John Stockton. Mark Jackson up there again like last year. Muggsy Bogues, a solid 10 assists per game. Steals, again, John Stockton. Scottie Pippen, another great year. And most blocks per game, Hakeem Olajuwon. But there, David Robinson, once again, just dominating defensively. Rebounds, blocks, steals, he can do all of it. Here's the rookies. Shaq dominated his rookie year. You knew it would happen. 88 overall as a rookie. Just absolutely unstoppable. Played all 82 games. Christian Laettner's next. Latrell Sprewell, like I said, good year. Just got hurt a whole bunch. So now we've got to battle through that and now through the playoffs. So I'm not sure how that's going to look out. Most blocks, Alonzo Mourning beat out Shaq and Laettner. I'm not sure how he got 2.2 per game, but he sure did. Assists, Sprewell, what's that? Tony Bennett? Not exactly sure. And then Jim Jackson, John Barry right below him. Shaq and Alonzo Mourning for rebounds. But now let's go take a look at player stats just for the Sonics and Shawn Kemp specifically. Here's the stats for just the Sonics. Shawn Kemp, 19.2 and 11.4 rebounds per game, 89 overall now, 1.7 blocks per game. So he did his part. It's just Reggie Miller outshined him in scoring points, 27, like we already saw. Gary Payton all the way down at 12.3. I figured he'd get a little bit more, but when you got everybody he has on his team, I guess you got to pass the ball, and that's what he kind of did. Him and Latrell Sprewell, look at that, 8.4 and 5.8. Pretty impressive. Rebounds, yeah, it's Kemp with an Eldon Campbell, Clifford. I called him Clifford. Cliff Robinson. I think it was Clifford at one point in time. I'm not quite sure. But anyways, steals, Gary Payton did solid there. Blocks, Kemp and Campbell, they did their part. But now let's get to the playoffs. Here's the playoff bracket, and we got the Trailblazers number 1, Spurs at 8, Suns versus the Lakers. We're at number 3 going against the Warriors. We should win that one pretty easily. Houston Rockets against the Utah Jazz. So the Jazz, number 1 seed last year, 7 seed this year, and then the East. We got the Hornets against the Knicks, so the Knicks are still in it. And then we got the Hawks and the Bullets. I think they made an improvement. Bulls, they're number 3. Michael Jordan played like 40 games this season, so that could be a big reason. And on the bottom right, you might not be able to see it, the Nets against the Miami Heat. So let's get into this first round. If we got a close game for the Sonics, we'll dive into it. But if it's not close, we'll just simulate this entire first round. The Warriors are in the lead in this series, 2-1. Not happy. I took a look at our lineup, and the computer had it all messed up with that Sprewell injury. We had a guy that was 70 overall in the starting lineup. No good. I made adjustments. We're playing long minutes for a lot of the starters. I'm hoping to win this one, because if not, we're getting eliminated, and I do not want to see that. Simulated with Simcast, didn't need to see it. We absolutely put a beat down on them. We'll do it again. If it's tight in this final game, we'll definitely jump into it. I sure hope we don't get eliminated. So let's see what happens. We got to jump into game 5. We're up 99-97. Hardaway is driving, and there's a minute 30 to go. Hardaway hits that tie game. These Warriors were kicking our butt the entire way. We made a comeback. So let's see if we can pull out this comeback and advance to the next round. Barrow's bringing up the ball. He can shoot some threes. He throws the lob up to Kemp. That was a terrible decision. Just threw it up to him. Kemp wasn't even looking. Owens is running. Gets the ball to Mullins. Or Mullen, not Mullins. Robinson with good defense. They get it to Owens. Owens has Miller on him. Cliff Robinson now. Got Mullen. Tim Hardaway with the ball. Shoots the three-pointer. Oh, no. 1 minute to go, and Hardaway hits a big one. That is brutal. Where is Payton when you need him? Barrows brings it up. We need 3 points. I do not want to go down like this. Kemp goes to the post, looking to get post up right here. And Alexander is basically denying him the ball. Tick, 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 tick. The time is winding down. Good spin by Barrows. He's in traffic. He hits the floater. Sonics only down 1 now. Oh my gosh. Come on, let's play some defense on Hardaway. We can't let him get open again. Bringing the ball up. This arena just looks sweet. couple old school logos. Hardaway driving with his left. Pump fake, stop, no. Alexander with the ball. Kemp is on a Mullen now. Guarded. He's not doing anything, wasting some time. That's probably a good idea for him. Alexander gets the ball out to Owens. 5 on the shot clock. Chris Mullen for 3. Oh, rims out. Cliff Robinson with the rebound. Timeout, Sonics. 20 seconds left, and we need a basket or we're going home. What do we draw up here? I got a feeling it's going Reggie Miller or Shawn Kemp. Kemp rolls, throws the lob, 2 hands, throws it down. We're up 1 with 15 to go. Warriors call timeout. After that incredible play from Barrows to Kemp, the Warriors have a chance to take the lead in the final seconds. They got 12 seconds on the clock. Some point guard guy with the ball, or shooting guard guy, I have no idea what his name is. 7 to go. Miller's on him. He goes around the screen. He's at the three-point line. 3, 2 to Hardaway with the ball. Barrows gets a hand up. It goes in. We get eliminated because of that. Oh my gosh. That absolutely sucks. Taking another look off the screen. Barrows is there, doesn't get a hand up. The ball goes up and right in. Warriors eliminate the Sonics. I absolutely can't believe that. I am heartbroken after that play. We have to wait to next season just because Hardaway hits a three-pointer like that to eliminate us. Oh my gosh. But anyways, here we go. Lakers and Spurs, Warriors and the Jazz, Hornets and the Bullets, and we got the Bulls and the Miami Heat to round out the rest of the playoffs. Conference finals looks like this. We got the Lakers against the Jazz and the Bulls against the Hornets. This should be very interesting. The Hornets with the upset, they beat the Bulls in Game 7 to go to the finals to face the Utah Jazz, who absolutely put a beat down on the Lakers. 4-1 in that series. The 7th seed makes it all the way back. Can the Utah Jazz repeat? I hope not, because I absolutely hate them. And there you have it. Grandmama Larry Johnson and the Charlotte Hornets are the NBA champions, beating out the Utah Jazz 4-2. So it was a pretty close series. I thought Utah Jazz might get another one, but the Hornets shut them down. They beat the Bulls and the Utah Jazz, both teams that were in the finals last year. Pretty impressive. This is what I figured. Finals MVP, Larry Johnson. He's having a heck of a year in this simulation. The Rookie of the Year last year, NBA Finals this year, NBA championship already. Who knows? We'll see how many he gets as this career goes on. Here's the order for the draft. We got the Pacers, Bucks, and Magic. I know Chris Webber and Penny Hardaway are in this draft. I should know more, but I can't remember. I forgot to look at the scouting reports before we got into this, but let's dive right into the draft. Here are the rookies for this draft class. Like I said, Chris Webber, Penny Hardaway, those are the 2 best ones in this one, but Jamal Mashburn, not bad. Vin Baker, I hated him when he was on the Sonics. He did all right, but it wasn't anything like Shawn Kemp. And then we got Winston, Cheney, Rogers, Allen Houston. I loved him when he was on the New York Knicks. I play with him in 2K every once in a while. He has a great jump shot. Sean Bradley, he was 7'6", 7'6". Oh my gosh, that is extremely tall. And with the first pick, the Indiana Pacers select Penny Hardaway, so they lose Reggie and get Penny. I'd still much rather have Reggie Miller. Penny could have had a really good year if it wasn't for injuries. And Chris Webber going to the Milwaukee Bucks. Those old school unis for the Bucks, those are pretty filthy. I like seeing those. Vin Baker is going to team up with Christian Laettner. Hopefully he can turn around this Magic franchise. Picked 4 and 5 or 4 and 3 now in the last 2 years. Not very good. They need to turn it around quickly. We got the 25th pick in this first round. Not very good, but we're going to take it and we're going to use it on Brian Russell. Latrell Sprewell couldn't stay healthy, so just some wing defense, wing help. Can maybe hit a 3 or 2, so let's take him. Here's the draft recap. We got Penny, 80 overall. Chris Webber, he's probably going to be an absolute stud in this game. 82 overall, he can just do everything. Very versatile big man. Vin Baker, Mashburn, Watson, Goodwin, Rogers. Not a very good draft class, but it is what it is. So now let's get into free agents. Here's some of the early free agents, and we're going to give basically anything and everything we want to Shawn Kemp. We got to keep him with Reggie Miller and Gary Payton. Those 3, I really do believe they can win a couple finals, get Shawn Kemp those rings he's looking for. So this is what we're going to offer him. Because he's on our team, we get the bird year option there. 5 years, $3.56 million per year. I think that beats out the best team. I sure hope so. I think we even get a chance, even if he takes the offer or looks at the offer from the other team just to match it, but let's see. Oh man, this sucks. We gave him the highest offer. Maybe I should have put in some more money. I thought we had him easy to stay with the Sonics. Great team, Gary Payton, Reggie Miller, and everybody else, but we're going to the Bullets. They had a decent year, but that's the team we're going to be on now. Let's see what happens. Here we are. Here's the Washington Bullets, our new team. Ellis, Williams, King. I mean, we got Kemp there at 87. He will go up. That'll be nice. Alice English, but nothing like Reggie Miller and Gary Payton. Can't believe it. We end with that Warriors game against Tim Hardaway hitting that buzzer beater to win the game. And now Kemp is on a new team. Just heartbreaking. I looked at free agents, but you know what? We have no money on this team. Weird enough, we got Robert Horry. Wanted him on the Sonics last season in the draft, so we got him now, but this is not what we wanted. Kemp now, 89 overall. He goes up another 23 years old. But let's look at this. Ellis, 86. Williams, 85. King and Horry. Oh boy, we're trying in this series, in this video, win championships for Shawn Kemp, and this is the team that we have. I don't know how I'm going to rebuild this one as quick as possible, but I'm going to try my best. Well, I can't do a whole bunch. Shawn Kemp, best player on the team, 89 overall. I looked to do some trades, but there wasn't anything out there that I was super interested in. What I'm hoping for is a rookie, and we'll take a look at that rookie screen in just a second, and you'll see why. Here are some of the best players again in the league. This is 1993-94 season, and Shawn Kemp, he gets on the list barely, right at the very bottom. But Seattle Sonics, Reggie Miller, still heartbreaking for me, 90 overall. Charles Barkley, Clyde Drexler, still basically all the same guys. We're going to look at see which teams should dominate, see if there's any different changes besides Kemp. So we'll look at some teams real quick and then look at the scouting report or look at the rookies coming in from the 94 draft. Here are the Hornets, the defending champs from last season. Larry Johnson. This team doesn't have a star-studded lineup or anything, just really deep. Larry Johnson, Kendall Gill, Dale Curry, and Muggsy Bogues. Those are the best four best players on their team. Everybody else is just really solid. The Jazz, the team that was in the finals, still two very good players in John Stockton, Karl Malone, so those guys are staying together, but it's Blue Edwards and a bunch of guys. All decent, but nothing great. Kings could be a team to look out for. Alonzo Mourning, 89 overall. Mitch Ritzman, Lionel Simmons. Not exactly sure who he is. I wish I knew a few more players from this day and age, but I knew a lot of the superstars, and that's about it. And then another guy at 80 overall. So this team could be pretty decent in the West. Let's keep an eye out for them. Shaq, 90 overall, 21 years old. Derek Harper, Ronaldo Blackman. Still, the Mavericks need to make a play. They gotta get somebody for Shaq for them to make an impact. But maybe not. Who knows? Maybe he can just will their way to victories and the championship potentially. All right, this is one of the teams, like I said, leaving the team that should be pretty decent. Reggie Miller, 90, Gary Payton, Sprewell. They picked up Larry Nance after Kemp departed. So still pretty good team, not deep, but top heavy for sure. Those were the good teams. I left out maybe a few Bulls and Lakers and things like that, but here we go. I told you, we can save our season by getting somebody like Grant Hill or Jason Kidd. If we can get one of these two guys, that would be amazing. But after that, this draft class it's all right, nothing great. Jalen Rose, Eddie Jones, Juwan Howard, some guys. But this Bullets team, it needs a superstar in either Jason Kidd or Grant Hill. All right, after looking at everything, let's get into it. We'll simulate like we did before. We'll simulate to that All-Star break trade deadline, see how things are looking, and then finish off the season. Nets are offering us a trade, first-round pick, and Cage, the center, 70 overall for Ellison. Maybe I got his name right. I have no idea. 86 overall. We're already 4-7, not looking good. So if we can get another pick in this first round and somehow get, like I said, Kidd or Grant, that would be huge. I mean, we got to do something. We can't just sit around and play games with this team, so we're going to make this trade. Things are just going from bad to worse. Shawn Kemp, 6 to 8 weeks, strained groin. I think he can play through it. Not sure what the computer's going to do. I'll just have them do their thing. But oh my gosh. And I even looked at some things before I saw this. He's already unhappy in Washington. Not a great record. That's probably the reason why. Jazz are offering us a trade, first round pick in 1997, so we'll get there pretty soon. And Hastings, a power forward, 69 overall. So for some Peeler guy, no idea. I'm just hoping that in 97 the Utah Jazz suck and we have a good pick from that one. So we're going to accept this trade. Here we are, halfway point. We'll look at some quick stats, nothing huge, deep dive or anything like that. But we were 17-29. We'll start in the East now. Bulls 30-15, followed by the 76ers because they're winning their division. And then the Hornets at 30-17. Hornets, pretty solid freaking ball club right there. And if you scroll a little bit down, here we are. The Washington Bullets, 17-29, no good. Let's take a look at the West. And here we go. Portland Trailblazers, still really good team with Clyde Drexler. Can't believe what they're doing. Dikembe Mutombo and the Denver Nuggets, pretty solid. But not sure what happened. 23-23, the Seattle Sonics. Figured they'd be fine without Shawn Kemp. Don't know if there was injuries or things like that. Let's look at some league leaders and then get back to simulating rest of the year. Points per game, here we go. 27.4 goes to Drexler, then Ewing right behind him, followed by Michael Jordan. And Jordan is hurt again. Lower back muscle injury. This dude, for some reason, can't stay healthy. It's absolutely killing the Bulls. Reggie Miller right up there again. He's played most of the season, so I'm guessing it's not his fault why the Sonics aren't doing good. Wilkins, and then look at that. Shaquille O'Neal, 91 overall, 24.7 points per game. And then right here we go, Shawn Kemp. Up to the 8th spot, 23.6 points per game. Somebody has to score for the Bullets, so I guess it will be him. And Dennis Rodman still, like normal, 13.9. Not the 17 like normal, but we'll go the 13.9. Still pretty solid. Assists per game, oh my gosh, we got a different leader here. 11.5, and that's Tim Hardaway. John Stockton right behind him, just like normal. Steals, Michael Jordan, Gary Payton. Hate seeing that. Anytime the songs pop up, I'm going to be pissed every single time. Dikembe Mutombo, Shaq, Ewing, Hakeem Olajuwon. All absolute studs. Now, let's get to the end of the season. This is only laughable now. Shawn Kemp, broken left leg, out 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, things can't get much worse. We got a video all for Shawn Kemp. He gets traded early in his career, can't win titles, loses close games in overtime in the playoffs, and now injured season. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get with this simulation series seasons, and this is what is going on right now. We'll dive into these awards now. Tim Hardaway, oh my gosh, 22 points, 11.4 assist points per game. Most valuable player in this year, the 94 season. That is impressive for him. Rookie of the year. I knew it was either going to be Penny or Chris Webber. Chris Webber gets it, 20 points per game. Wow, that's impressive. 10.6 rebounds, and not too bad with 4.2 assists as well. And then Steve Smith, 6th man of the year. Again, I believe he got that last year as well. Basically the similar stats as last season. David Robinson. What is that? 3 years now in a row, I believe. Again, defensive player of the year. He just gets them all the time. Just too athletic, not to. LaFonso Ellis is most improved. He must have really sucked because his stats aren't great. 10.9, 8.7 rebounds per game. That's pretty decent, but not super great stats. Coach of the year, Rick Alderman for the Portland Trailblazers. Maybe they can finally do something now in the playoffs. They haven't made it the last few years because of the stupid Utah Jazz. But those are the awards for 1994. All-NBA first team, Hardaway, Michael Jordan, Karl Malone, Larry Johnson. He's hurt going into the playoffs. If their team made the playoffs, I got a feeling they are. Left finger broken, 1 to 2 weeks, nothing terrible. Patrick Ewing. Then second team, Shawn Kemp made it from the Bullets, David Robinson, Charles Barkley, Kennedy Anderson, and Clyde the Glide. Then the third team, Kevin Johnson. I think he's made a couple now in a row now. Kendall Gill, Scottie Pippen, Chris Webber, All-NBA third team and rookie. Pretty solid. Shaq there at 90 overall. He's hurt a little bit, sore left foot. He'll be fine. And then all defensive first team, Michael Jordan, Hot Rod Williams, Dennis Rodman, Clyde Drexler, Michael Jordan. Second team, Gary Payton, Jim Jackson. I don't see any Bullets players, so it is what it is. Our team was freaking terrible. And then all NBA first team, Penny, Hardaway, Cheney, Vin Baker, Jamal Mashburn. So they're on some interesting teams. And then here's the second team. It's a bunch of kind of not really nobodies. Nick Van Exel, I liked watching him play. He was fun. Tiny, Isaiah Wright. I remember watching him in the dunk contest. But that's the second team and the awards. Let's go take a look at the standings real quick. Hornets again doing very well. 55-27, followed by the 76ers, Bulls. So we traded for the Nets pick. We hope they sucked. They didn't. So I can't get anything to go right for the Washington Bullets. Miami Heat, Orlando Magic, Vin Baker and Christian Laettner doing solid now. Got into the playoffs somehow. Pistons and Knicks. And let's go all the way down. We're not even the worst team, but the Bullets 31-51. No good. Chris Webber and Penny Hardaway are going to get some help with picks as long as they still have them. Let's go to the West. Sonics didn't make it either, 40-42. They needed my help to make the playoffs, I guess. Not sure what happened. Maybe there was injuries. No idea. Not even sure. Shaq, he's going to be the 5th seed. That's pretty cool. Portland Trailblazers, holy smoke, 60-22, followed by the Utah Jazz at 51-31. Well, I guess the Golden State Warriors at 57-25, but this is the team that won the division, and the Warriors were behind the Blazers. So that's what all the team standings looked like. Let's take a quick peek at the league leaders and then that playoff bracket. I thought Jordan was injured, but I guess not. Maybe it was just a game or two because he played 80 games, scored 28.1 points per game, 6 rebounds, almost 6 dimes, 2 steals per game, and almost 3 turnovers, shooting 58.2%. Clyde Drexler, Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller, again, did pretty solid for the Sonics. Not good enough to get into the playoffs, which sucks for them. Dominique Wilkins at 5, and Shawn Kemp all the way up to 6. Like I said, somebody had to score for him, but look at that. 65 games played. That is it. Not good at all. Just couldn't stay healthy at all. Dennis Rodman wins the rebounds. Again, it seems like every year that happens. John Stockton. Hardaway was winning at the middle of the year, but Stockton takes it over at the end. Gary Payton leads the league in steals, followed by Jordan and Penny. So decent year for Penny, 18 points, almost 7 dimes and 2 steals per game. Blocks, Kemp Mutombo with 2.9, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson. These guys are just absolutely huge. It's not like guys playing it nowadays where you got, Victor's huge, but scrawny at the same time. But these guys were just huge men. And here's the top rookie getters for points. Chris Webber, Penny Hardaway. Basically everybody else was kind of meh the entire season, but those two are going to be the studs moving forward. Mashburn's pretty decent, and Allen Houston should be good. Vin Baker, who knows? We'll see what happens with him. Chris Webber, most rebounds. Penny Hardaway, 7, blew the other rookies out of the water right there. 2 steals, and then Cheney with 1.8 blocks per game. Now let's go take a look at that playoff bracket. And here it is. Hornets, number 1 going against the Knicks. The Nets, darn it, got their pick, and they did good. Heat, 5, Bulls 3 against the Orlando Magic. Philly at number 2, and the Pistons there at the bottom. You might not be able to see it because of my face. They're the 7th seed in the East and now out West. Trailblazers against the Clippers. Pretty impressive that the Clippers are in there. They're a very bad team. And then we got the Nuggets and the Dallas Mavericks, So it's Dikembe versus Shaq. 2 big giant people going at each other. The Warriors against the Spurs. Utah Jazz against the Lakers in the first round. Let's simulate this and see what happens. That went pretty quick since we're not in it. So Blazers, they advance. They're taking on the Nuggets, who beat the Dallas Mavericks in game 5. So that one was close. Utah Jazz advance again. Oh my gosh, they're just never going to go away. They're playing the Warriors and Tim Hardaway. Hornets advance to take on the Nets. And then Philadelphia 76ers are taking on the Bulls. This is rounding out to be a pretty decent playoff series. So hopefully we can jump into one of these games here soon. Maybe the finals or Eastern or Western Conference finals, but we'll see. Can't believe it. The Bulls eliminated again, I believe, in the second round 2 years in a row, this time by the 76ers, and they're going to take on the defending champs, the Charlotte Hornets. The Trailblazers, they're doing really solid. They have only lost 1 game so far in the playoffs, and that was in the first round against the Clippers, but they absolutely put a beat down on the Nuggets. They're going to be taking on the Warriors. Seems like they're a pretty decent team. Obviously, they put a beat down on the Utah Jazz. They beat them 4-1. Let's see who wins these conference finals and who's going to be playing each other in the NBA finals. 2 brand new teams, the 76ers and Charles Barkley. Can Barkley finally get a ring that he's been oh so hoping for? And then the Warriors and Tim Hardaway and those boys. Let's see what happens. I was going to jump into an NBA finals game, but there was absolutely no reason. The Golden State Warriors swept the 76ers 4-0 and just put a beat down basically on game 4. I simcasted, see what happened, see if it was close. I was going to jump in, but it wasn't. So here we are, Warriors, NBA champions for the 1994 season. Tim Hardaway, what a great year. Regular season MVP, finals MVP, and NBA champion. Tim Hardaway, what can you say? That's a pretty impressive year. A lot of good players have done that throughout the years. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, things like that. Penny now joins that group in this simulation season. I hate doing this, but I think I'm going to have to. I'm going to break it up into 2, maybe 3 parts. It's just been too much fun, and I want to show you guys kind of bits and pieces that happened in the regular season and not just sim super fast through everything, and you miss absolutely everything and what was going on, trades and those things. So 2, maybe 3-parter, but this is going to be the end of the first one. Definitely hit like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. That way you can get notified the next time we drop part 2 for this. Part 1, can't believe it. Starts on the Sonics, we get Reggie Miller, we go to the playoffs, look like we're doing good, and then he leaves and goes to the Bullets and sucks. Breaks his leg, breaks his foot, or not his foot, but breaks his leg, hurts his leg, missed most of the year, and the Bullets don't even make the playoffs. So let's see how he can bounce back in part 2, but thanks for watching and have a great day.